HMPV, also known as the human metapneumovirus. Viruses are tiny agents that invade the cells of our bodies. Once a virus particles, also known as a virion, get into a host's body, it travels along the surfaces of cells. The main function of the virion is to deliver its DNA or RNA genome into the host cell so that the genome can be expressed, transcribed, and translated by the host cell. This is where the virion's proteins will begin to bind with receptors on the surface of the cells. The virion's proteins are the structured shapes that are attached to the membrane of enveloped viruses, which are known as the virus surface proteins. These proteins are the perfect keys that have evolved into the perfect shape and size, which enables them then unlock receptors that reside on the surface of the cell, which are known as cell receptors. This interaction determined the mechanisms of virus attachment, uptake, intracellular trafficking, and, ultimately, penetration to the cytosol. The virion will exploit fundamental cellular processes to gain entry to cells and deliver their genetic cargo, where they will start to replicate. The replicating virus may stay at the entry site, or it may spread to other cells in the body, often by entering the bloodstream. Infectious diseases are commonly transmitted through direct person-person contact, where on average, every 10 people with a virus will infect between 7 and 9 other people, and so on. Virus particles can be spread by droplet transmission when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Or it can be spread more directly where an infected person's skin or mucous membrane comes into contact with another person or object. Or it can spread when an infected person talks or breathes through aerosol. The human metapneumovirus was first discovered in 2001 by Dutch virologists who were seeking an explanation for various individual respiratory infections that had occurred in recent decades, but which couldn't be attributed to any known pathogen. Although the virus does mutate and change over time with new strains emerging, it is not a virus that we consider to have pandemic potential. Symptoms can range from a mild flu-like illness, which could lead to a lower respiratory tract infection complicated by wheezing, which can lead to life-threatening pneumonia. Infection with HMPV causes a broad spectrum of signs and symptoms, which include fever, cough, runny nose, dyspnea, rapid breathing, or an increased respiratory rate, chest retraction, which can be more common in young children, and wheezing. Bronchiolitis is the most common presentation of the HMPV illness in children. It's important to note that for the season flu in the UK, average hospitalization equals 1,861 patients per day, which is increased by 70%. Within a week, which is more than 3 times higher than the previous year. The norovirus cases have increased by 10% within a week, which is 64% more than last year. The best way we can protect ourselves to wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Avoid touching eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands, and reduce contact with people who have flu-like symptoms. If you have flu-like symptoms, you should cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing, and consider wearing a face mask. Wash hands frequently. Avoid sharing with others and consider staying at home when sick. The CDC is monitoring the situation in China, where HMPV human metapneumovirus cases have been rising. While HMPV is a respiratory virus that can cause flu-like symptoms, it's generally less severe than the flu and spreads on a smaller scale. However, HMPV can lead to more serious complications in certain groups, such as the elderly, young children, and people with compromised immune systems. Subscribe to the channel for more.